Hi guys, this is Sammy. Welcome to session number 2 on how to play the piano. So in the last video, we talked about different kinds of piano, how to sit at the piano, high and low sounds, and other important stuff. If you didn't watch that video, please go and watch that video so you can get more information and you can understand what I'm talking about in this video. So in this video, we'll be talking about staff, bars, bass clef, treble clef, and how to identify and read notes. So I'm going to be drawing them for you on a book so you can understand more clearly what I'm talking about. So without further ado, let's get started. So now, as you can see, this is the staff. The staff has 5 lines. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and it has 4 spaces. So let me mark the lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are the lines. And then there are 4 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 5 lines and 4 spaces. The notes will be written either in these spaces or lines. Okay, so this is a staff, as you can see. So this, as you see, this is a really famous music symbol. It's really swirly. So this is called a treble clef. The treble clef represents the right hand notes. And this, you can see, is also curvy, but not as popular as this one. This is the bass clef. It represents the left hand notes. So these two are really important because they show what each note is for. So if these symbols weren't there, you would be confused. So which note is for which hand? Okay, now as you can see, these little boxes, the staff is divided into 4 boxes. So each part or box is called a bar. The staff is divided into bars, so you can easily count how many notes are there or how many beats are there. So now we'll be talking about the notes. So there are sayings for each hand notes. So there are notes on the lines right here and the notes in the spaces. So we'll talk about the right hand notes that are on the line. So there is E, which is right here, G, B, D, and F. You can see that, right? So E, G, B, D, F. So there is a saying for you guys to remember this. So every good boy does fine. So every good boy does fine. So this saying will help you remember all the notes on the lines for right hand. So if there is a note written right here, so it's on the second line. So you could count up. So the bottom line is every good. So good, the first letter of good is G. So this is G. Okay? So I'm going to explain it once more so you can understand it better. So whenever there are notes written on the lines for right hand, the bottom line, when the note is written on the bottom line, it's E. Or you can remember it by every good boy does fine. So the bottom line, you'll start off with every. So the bottom line is every. The first letter of every is E. Next, this is second line. So every good. The first letter of good is G. And then the third one, every good boy. So the third letter is B, as in the first letter of B, as in the first letter of boy. So next is D. So every good boy does. So the first letter of does is D. So this is D. And then the last letter, every good boy does fine. So the first letter of fine is F. So every good boy does fine. So if you remember this thing, then it will be a lot easier for you to identify notes on the staff rather than memorizing every single note. well, it is necessary for you to memorize, but with this thing, it's much more easier. Okay, so these are the right-hand notes on the lines, the 5 lines of the staff. Now we will be talking about the notes in the spaces. As you can see here, there are 4 spaces. So there are 4 notes in the spaces of the staff. So there's F, A, C, E. So F in this space, A in the second space, and C in the third space, and E in the last space. Okay, so the saying for this is simple. Face as your face. So F, A, C, E. It's not like every goodbye does fine where you have to remember the first letter is for the note. There is only just the first letter, so you just have to remember face. So the first space is F, okay, as in face, and the second space is A, so the second letter in space, second space, and second letter. Okay, and the third one is C, so face. The third letter in face is the third space in the staff, so it's C. And then the last one is E, so the last letter in face, or the fourth letter, so that's E. So you can identify it right here, in here. So this is a song or a tune. So as you can see, there is E from every. This is D, every, okay? And then every, and this is a space. So from face, this is F. The first space is F, all right? In the next video, in the next session, we'll be talking about the left-hand notes. So that will be my third session. Until then, if you have any questions or doubts, please review this video and my first video to clarify your doubts. And if that doesn't help, then I'll be linking a Google slideshow presentation in the description box below, so you can check that out. And hopefully that will clarify all your questions and doubts. Until then, stay safe and keep practicing. Goodbye.